Hello and welcome to another episode of me painting again. Oh yes, we're painting again. I'm just getting my big brush, the 1-inch graduate brush, flat wash brush. And we're going to wash in a sky. We'll get this blue sky, quite a strong blue. I think we need a bit of the cerulean in with the French ultramarine. Oh, I need some white. I forgot to put the white on. Use a lot of white, so you can get these bigger tubes. Like there's paint all over it. You can get the 37mm tubes as well as the smaller ones, but I went for some 30. Well. Not for some, I went for this 37mm tube, which I'll use for a bit, and hopefully for a few paintings. So I can get some nice strong blue, something like that actually. A bit more ultra, a bit more cerulean, a nice blue. There we go. See what that looks like when we put it on. Oops. Yeah, so this is an area that I went for a walk actually, and I took this photo, and I'm going to try and use it to create a painting. And I mean use it. I never paint exact anymore. Well. Sometimes. Sometimes I try. But I like to change things to make it more my own a lot of the time. So, you know what it's like. Artist license. You want to just do what you want. So I might get a little bit more white in this just to brighten it in areas. So I think that's going to dry a bit too dull. It wants to be a bit more this kind of look. Yeah, that's better. Just sort of smoothing those. There was sort of kind of lines in there. Just sort of smooth those out. Got nice, a bit of blue. I'm going to use a bit of this exact blue to go right there. And then there. Done that a little bit wide actually, but it don't matter because we're going to change it. Need some more. Need to go really thin over there. Put that there. That's sort of the bottom of the river. There we go. So we're going to put some dark in there as well. I just wanted a little bit more strong blue here. Yeah, something like that. That's quite nice. Now, using a little bit of burnt umber, can go into this colour, this blue, and make sort of a grey. We'll use it for our clouds. So don't forget, a little bit of white in the colour can make it a bit more opaque. And then if you do that, and you make your colour a bit too dark, a bit too light, then just add a bit more pigment. It's all about more pigment. It really is, actually, because the time I used to paint and not use much paint, basically I wasn't using enough pigment. And then I started to realise, I was like, wow, why is my painting not as good as theirs? I was looking around everybody's was better. I was like, well, there's something I'm not doing that they're doing. And it was the amount of paint I was not using. So don't be afraid to use it. Its paint isn't made to just sit in the tube. I know it can be a little bit scary using a lot of paint sometimes, though. Especially when you've spent your hard-earned cash on it. And then you watch it all disappear. That's actually what I used to think. I used to be scared of using it. Almost like this paint should be in a museum. I shouldn't use it, shouldn't waste it. I don't want to waste it. I'll just do another painting that I don't like. You gotta use it. Gotta use your paint. Don't do what I used to do. And if you've been given some paint, don't put it in the cupboard. Get it out, use it, do some paintings, enjoy yourself. Right, I'm going to switch over to my smaller brush. Now I've done all this. I've got now the 1/2 inch Daily Rowney graduate brush. Just in case you was wondering, I'm using well, it's not a sketchbook. I call them sketchbooks, but they're really scrapbooks, and people use them to make photo albums of their weddings or whatever. But they're great for sketchbooking. They really are. So I'm gonna get myself a bit of white. Might put tiny bit of red in it. Yeah, just warms it up a little bit. So this was a calm day, unlike today, which is extremely windy. Extremely. I actually thought I'd be clever and go out and see how bad it is. I thought, I'll see how bad it is. I'll just go out there and stand in it and just to see how strong it is. A second later, it nearly blows me over. I was like, well, it's just pretty bad then. Legged it back in. So I'm just cleaning my finger because I use my finger to smudge. And I had a lot of paint on it somehow. Smudging and blending. It's one of my favourite things to do with paints, because it makes it a little bit better. You have quite a lot of control over your little pinky. Well, maybe not your little pinky. The pointy finger works really well. And if you use that a while, then you have to use the next finger, and then the next one, and then unless you've got some water there to wash it, or a wet wipe or something. Otherwise, yeah, you go from finger to finger. But yeah, you can get some really nice effects using your finger to do your painting, do your smudging and blending. It's a really good blender brush. Got a bit more life there. Okay, let's have a look at that. Quite like that. There's a bit of a dark cloud and then there's a bit of light there, which is good. And there's some light there. There's changes. Yeah. Well, I've enjoyed this already, actually. I like painting skies. So you can pick out areas that are a bit lighter if you want to, and add a bit more light to it. If you use a dry brush like this that I'm doing now, it won't vanish as much when it dries. So I'll tell you what I've been doing today. I've been working on the book on painting, and I'm putting a lot of pictures in it that I've done, but I'm putting like thoughts and tips and things in it as well, making it, you know, quite an interesting book. It's different to what I've seen before, really. It's just something I'd like to add to the world of art. My first one. I want to do one on oils as well, because I've done a lot of oil painting in the past. I might do a book on oils as well. But I'm going to do one on these, and then I'm going to probably do one on oils. And then, yeah, make some books. We've lost some of this light in the water. Right, let's build the landscape. Because we've got a sky. Actually, I've just seen in the sky. I want that light there. Just disappear it a little bit, and there. There's a spot. You get like just little spots of a lighter point. It's interesting. Haven't quite got that right yet. Yeah, that's about. It's a bit better. There we go. That's more like it. That's more closer to what I wanted. Right, so the background. Now I tend to change things a bit, because if I was going to paint this real, I've got to be honest, the background is just as dark as the foreground. But I don't want to do that, so I'm going to use a bit of a reddish, purpley colour like this. I'm going to put some background shapes in there. Just to give it a bit of distance. I'm going to pull this out as well. You use this to paint this in. You can always go on top of it. Something like that. And on the other side. On this side we've got it coming out like that. There we go. And then got this path here. This is the path that I went up. And we've got grass stuff here. I actually walked up this path and then crossed over a bridge way up there. And it was way up there. So I'm going to get a bit of green and brown. Green and brown. We'll start putting this colour in. Just get things started. And on there as well. So I'm starting off quite light in colour, and then I can build it up as I go, which is the way I quite like to paint. Give yourself chances to mess up, you see. It's all about trying to work out how not to mess up. The more paintings I've done, the more I've made mistakes, and I can try and avoid them. I laugh to myself because it's exactly like that for me. How to avoid mistakes. How to not get in a painter's mess. I still do that though. I still get into these issues where I'm like, I don't know what to do. How can I rectify this? A bit more green here. So I'm just going to get a greeny browny colour. I'm going to start putting some height here. So some trees. I'm going to quite light pressure and just pull some shapes out. There's also gonna go a bit lighter. There's a hint of hint of a reddish grey actually there. I'm gonna put some of this in here as well. can bring our other colours in front of that soon. We'll just use the light colours and then sort of go darker as we come closer. This time of year though, there wasn't really a great deal of green, to be honest, but not in the trees anyway. Can make a decision on the depth of colour. So I'm just throwing some sap green, well, primary green and sap green, a bit of this brown, a bit of the blue, and then I can throw in yellow ochre if I want to, just to get the colour, just to get what was there anyway. Going to go back into some more brown because that's more brown than green there. There is a tree there. I'll paint it in. Smell like that. And the other side as well. This side, we've got trees coming in. Bit yellow, bit more of a yellow ochre look on this side actually, so I might throw some of that in. Why not? I'll put some in this side as well. Bit of brown and blue, bit of brown and blue. Yeah. It's almost a sort of that sort of feel to it. Sort of that kind of curvature there. Whereas this side's got a bit more of a straightness. There is a nice bit of green there. Whether we can make a nice bit of green with our dirty brush. Better wash my brush. Bit of yellow and green. Yes. See, there's these nice, really nice greens up here. Really strong as well. And you can put them in, and there's some there as well. So a good way of painting a lot of bits and keeping the painting together is using your paint all over your painting. So when you're mixing, you mix your colours, and then you're like, oh, I can see a bit there, here, and then up here, there, there's a bit down there as well. And use it wherever you can, and then it keeps your painting all in one family, like the colours. Put a little bit of this there. I actually want it to be darker, but it doesn't matter really. there was a gate at the end of this, so it's a bit weird how there's a road there. I suppose it's like access for farmers, I guess. Must be. Be interesting to see what this place looks like in the summer. I bet it looks amazing. Gonna get some of the yellow ochre. Yellow ochre. You know what I could do with? I see a lot of burnt sienna. See if I've got some. I think this raw sienna. No. Burnt sienna. Just going to put a little bit of burnt sienna on my page. Need to put it back as well. It's sort of sliding down. Trap it under a book sometimes. There we go. So I'm going to get some burnt sienna on. So I've got a bit of burnt sienna here. Bit of white. Mixed in with that. Yes. That's what I was after. If you can see that. It's just a slight change of colour, but I can see it. Maybe a little bit darker. Yeah, that's better. So I'll put some of these strokes on here. Just get rid of some of that back there. Don't want it to be too dark back there. There we go. Because I don't want it to be too dark back there, because I still want to keep this illusion, the illusion of it being the distance, basically. I don't want it to go into darkness, because then the illusion of distance gets taken, and I don't want to lose that. Okay, bit of colour here and there. Sort of a yellowy hint to the floor there, to this path. Might as well put it in. And then it goes to more of a greyish blue. Might be able to get it with this dirty brush. Not bad actually, not bad. A bit lighter, I think. So you can mix your colours on there. You don't have to always mix and then paint. You can mix as you go while painting. But to try and stay quite light as it goes away, and then you can always go darker as it comes closer. Something like that. Yeah, it's not bad. Leave that to dry a little bit. It's the only thing when you're filming this. It does go a bit like dark and light. When I first started filming, when I first started filming these, I was like, oh no, this isn't gonna work. All the colours are too bright and bouncing back, and it was only because the paint was, as it was drying, as it dries it starts disappearing, so it's not too bad. I need some dark in the water, like that. You can see like ripples as well, so I'll do this. And it's quite, I quite like it the way that is, that. Let's have this edge done a bit. Get a little bit of a bit more dark, so we can edge this a bit. Got sort of a burnt sienna-y kind of look to that. I'm going to just put a few of these at the ear as well. Something like this. Don't want it to be total just that, so break it up a little bit. Got a little bit of brown. Brown's coming up there, reaching up. So I always try and do my strokes to match the landscape. So if the landscape is going up, well, it's good to do a few strokes in that direction to get the brain of the viewer or yourself, when you're painting it, your own brain, to go, oh okay, that's going up there. We need this to go like that, because that is where the bridge is, but you can't really see it because it's so far away. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to introduce some light. Let's imagine there's a bit of sunshine breaking through the cloud over here, because every now and then there was a gap in the hedge there, and there was a bit of light just sort of going. See, I didn't actually catch it on camera though, but I did see it. So just going by memory. There was a bit of light, and then it broke here as well. Yeah, sort of like that, because it was quite low. Maybe it would have hit some of this side here. Some of this bit here. And while I remember, there was also, just get some blue and brown, there was a tree right there. Quickly putting in some of the branches. This was a bit darker there. Kind of a bit darker on some of these. Bit more there. Kind of want to warm some of that up a little bit. I don't really like that now. I might get rid of it again. Go back to how it was, without the sun poking through there. back to our green. Yeah, I prefer that. Quick change. Quick change. Slight changes in colour as well, here and there. I'm putting that, put that yellow ochre look back in there. Need a bit of the light actually on this path. Bit of blue light. Path, road. Sort of sit up, have a look, see what you think, what do you need. I need a few more branches, that's for sure. You can put millions in. If I flick the brush like all different directions like this, and then look at the a reference picture of a tree, there would be literally brush. It would be like I painted it because there'd be so many. Just something I realised from sitting out there. I mentioned that before. Sat out in the woods painting trees. It's unbelievable how many branches there are. Anyway, just shows you how you can change something so quickly though. And I changed the light and then changed it back. Just shows how quickly you can do that, doesn't it? If you're a bit more planned, then you wouldn't need to do that, but never mind. I like to see what happens. I'm just got a bit more light and I'm gonna put in some of these straw-like shapes around here. And at the edge there. Look at there. Sort of a darker colour. change the flavour a little bit on this bit. Because this has not really been driven on that much, so it was quite, the grass was growing quite heavily across. So we could give that a bit of an effect. Use the paint, let it just spread across like that. Use a bigger strokes as it comes closer, and then smaller strokes as it goes away. Okay. Of a dull colour, just to go along there. Some lines in the water. I want some lighter lines as well, quite white with a blue hint. There's some interesting sort of movement here. Paint that in. A few bits more over there. Yeah, something like that. And you can sit back, have a look, see if there's anything you want to change, anything you want to do. The only thing that my eye does, it goes, that looks a bit dark here. So I'll scrub in a bit of dry brush a little bit there, a little bit of this messy colour, just rub that in, kind of gets rid of that. And there's a bit more texture on this bit. There's not much paint on my brush now, so you can do that. Some light kind of breaking through this in places that I can just change it a little bit. Something like that. All these different slight changes, because you don't get grass that's all one colour, and especially in this sort of place where there's all sorts of different types of grasses and greens and browns, you get all sorts of different colours, and you can build your colours up, start changing colours. can sort of bring them two together as well there. So that comes up to there. Get rid of that brightness. But yeah, there we go. I think we're about finished there. It's the scene that I saw when I went on the hunt for some pictures of little birds. And I did get a good picture actually of a kingfisher. That's something I'm gonna tackle as a painting soon. But yeah, I think we're almost there. Yeah. You know what I might do? I can't help myself. Once I get painting, I'm like, oh, I could do this. Sometimes you see like greeny areas around where the water and the land hits. So I'll just put some in there, tap them away. It looks like there's some sort of a plant growing in there. Yeah, I think I'll call this one finished. Had some good fun painting this, changing it, developing it. And one thing that I want to do, because there was some birds around here. They would fly away really fast, but they were over here and they would fly in there. It's like cormorants and things. What big, oh. That water splodge. Oh. How could it do that to me? Just as I was finished as well. Typical. I should have wiped my brush. Well, we can sort this out. Just wipe it with my finger and then get some white and blue. Can easily fix this. Got a bit more cloud going here now. Maybe this cloud goes up like that. How to fix your painting, there you go. If that ever happens to you, just extend the cloud, right? So, let's have another go. The bird. It's quite big. I might go with that. That's got a hint of a big bird, doesn't it? And then it would fly over here and down there. Throw some dark in there. I love doing that, just adding something else. To put about 1 million colours just in this one area, just for variety. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that painting. Something you could do better and have fun trying out different colour schemes. And I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you at another one. Cheers, bye.